Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Conrad here.
Dylan.
Hilton.
George.
And Ben.
Ben, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome, man.
Happy
Thank
to be
you.
here.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
pleasure to meet you.
That's fine.
Subject of the day, in honor of Valentine's Day, is all about love. Love at first sight. Love, the language universally spoken across the world. And intergalactically with aliens. So, love is the topic.
All right.
Yes, thank you. And so, welcome to Puff Drink Talk podcast. And we have a guest tonight, Ben Morgan.
Ben, explain how you either know Hilton or Dylan or...
Well, first time met you two gentlemen today. Dylan met when I visited Hilton about a week ago or so. Met Hilton through a networking group.
Oh, right on.
And could easily see the type of person he is, genuine. Really had my interest in his mind when we're talking and not, being one-sided by any means. His ears were open way more than his mouth, which is hard to imagine nowadays, right? But yeah, so immediate, I'd say, friendship in a sense, certainly easy to get along with.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
cool.
You. Thank you.
Ben, do you have a business that you were networking? Do you want to give a shout out to your company?
Sure, yeah. Sparkle Squad, North Austin. It's pretty simple what we want to do. We want to change the window cleaning industry through technology and set a higher standard than what's out there right now. So that's the primary avenue, although we do what I call MASA. It's my mission, make America sparkle again. So I'm out there to make America look pretty, clean up the streets with like a pressure wash job, or clean a house or a building with a soft wash. And then we can do some permanent lighting, gutter cleaning, just anything to make the outside of your home look pretty, or a business. And then again, window cleaning, of course, is our primary.
Oh, awesome. Do you have contact information that you'd like to share? Phone number, email address?
Sure, yeah. Ben Morgan at sparklesquad.com. And you can call 512-566-4340. And we'd be happy to help you out in whatever we can do. Call, email, sky's the limit.
Sound good.
Awesome. Well, cool, Ben. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The topic of love, gentlemen. We've all been there. We've all experienced it. Our first unconditional love, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say our mothers were the first loves of our lives, to our mothers or fathers, some maternal figure in our lives. Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Do we have anything that we're doing for our special ones in our lives?
Do you mind if I ask a question first?
Go right ahead.
Look, the Valentine's Day in Brazil is in June 12th, and it's restricted to couples. It's like a man and women thing, or now, whatever, I don't know. I don't know how to define that. But anyway, in Brazil, it's basically for love between technically two people, right? So if a polyamorous there, it could be more. But how is that thought in the U.S., the Valentines? Because I heard many stories, many versions of that. So is it only for love, like between two people, or it's friendship, it's also celebrated?
I wish I knew the answer to that. Growing up, we would say...
How do you perceive, right? So I want to know about what you think about it.
I don't know. I know growing up for Valentine's Day, like starting in elementary school, you get those little Valentine cards and you pass them out to everybody in class. So I think it's just an economy booster.
Okay.
I think that's all it is.
But your perception is that when you're young,
Gaming.
especially, yeah, okay, gaming, and also among a lot of friends, people, right? Do you have the same perception as Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday I helped my son and daughter prepare Valentine's Day cards for their classmates.
Yeah. I'm glad that's still a thing, because I have that from memories when I was a kid.
You know, and it's funny because my daughter, she had a little shoe box that we put construction paper around, and she wrote, you know, I love everybody, I love my teacher, I love my friends, and just like hearts and all types of sweet stuff around it. So it was
That's
just
nice.
kind of a fun thing to, you know, see and enjoy with them. Yes, please. I'll take some coffee.
Looking to upgrade your floors? Want style, durability, and expert installation without the hassle?
Then you need Ballerini Floors, your trusted flooring experts right here in the greater Austin area.
From luxurious hardwood to waterproof vinyl planks and even high-performance epoxy garage floors.
Ballerini Floors delivers top quality materials and flawless installations with no hidden fees and no surprises.
Plus, our team speaks English, Spanish, and Portuguese, making communication easy and stress-free.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for an upgrade or a custom home builder needing premium solutions, we've got you covered.
So why wait? Call Ballerini Floors today and step up your flooring game.
Because if you step on it,
We
We
do
do
it. So Ben,
Yes, sir.
do you feel the same way? It's just like Valentine is not only for like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife kind of thing. It's more people that you really want to be around with. Is that what the thing is for you?
No, I wouldn't say that. I have two different perspectives, from an adult perspective and then as a father of a daughter who's 13. Valentine's makes me nervous, and not because, oh, a boy, it's because who's going to get their feelings hurt if they
Yeah.
don't get the right Valentine in their packet or
Okay.
their shoebox.
Yeah.
So that makes me nervous as a dad because, you just want love to be something that the kid can feel
Yeah.
from somebody she wants to feel it from.
Mhm.
And then of course from an adult perspective, I think it's an opportunity to express yourself more so. You tell your prospective other you love them and you do things for them that are selfless. But this gives you an opportunity to not necessarily go out to dinner for a special reason, but do something that's special for that day. That's kind of the adult perspective.
Yeah.
Basically, celebrate the institution. Tamiris and I, we have like my wife and I, we have like it's Tamiris is George, and there are the weirdos. The weirdos is an institution. So we try to feed this institution as much as possible. So I have to every time I act, I think about me, about the institution, and about Tamiris. Every single act I take. I can't remember, man. Of course here and there, but anything that matters, I always put the institution there. So it's a way to celebrate the institution or what it means, right?
The institution of
Love.
love.
Yes, the institution. you should use your voice,
Well,
Love.
we have a guest here that Ben is a musician, so I guess he knows quite a lot because tell us a little bit about your story. Go on. Music related and
Yeah, I came from a musical family. My mom doing the church piano thing. So we've always had music in the house. Third grade, sat behind a drum set and played. Just played. It wasn't like dropping a bunch of marbles on a drum. I actually played beats. So I figured, well, this is it, which was great, except for when you had to carry it home. And, then you wished you had a trumpet.
yeah.
But I grew up with some pretty amazing musicians. I was blessed at an early age. Growing up outside of Philadelphia is very big for music. So yeah, go Birds. So I was in high school playing with professional jazz musicians that would come to our school because for whatever reason they wanted to be part of it, or they went to the school in the 50s or 30s or whatever it was. I was exposed to professional jazz at a very young age, and that's just kind of steered me in that direction. I always say I'm a jazz drummer stuck in a rock world because that's kind of where we're at with drumming, if you will. But man, I did it all through high school then, and played in the jazz band in my alma mater at college at Edinburgh, which is now Edinburgh West Penn. They changed names, combined a few schools, but it's outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. Played in some college bands just to meet the ladies and do something on the weekend, and then carried it into my adulthood. And I'm currently working on playing in a worship band. So I think that's going to be the next step. I've done everything except death metal and salsa.
You haven't lived until you've done death metal.
Or salsa.
Yeah, I haven't done salsa or death metal. I would, love to do salsa. I'll probably not do the death metal part. But I mean, I've done orchestra. I've done, symphonic. I've done marching. I've done anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try it all. I was in my first country band when I moved to Texas, so it's a lot of fun. There's some, and as a jazz drummer, I bring a unique perspective that I'm not just a banger, which is probably why I won't do death metal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the universal language. So at any phase of my life, I was connecting with people through music and cultures. So it's always been part of my life. So, before I can remember.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
You anticipated a lot of what I'm gonna ask here because I have got a lot of questions, man.
Okay, fire away.
Yeah. When you play, how do you enjoy? How do you like people perceiving you as a musician?
Sexy.
Sexy.
No, I'm just kidding. I think drummers are hard on each other.
Okay.
Percussionists in general. I judge. I go to a professional show and I'm judging OAR. I'm judging these fantastic musicians, and I'm still sitting there like, I would have done this differently. I'm the worst place in the world. I'm doing it at church. I text my buddy after the first worship or second worship set, and I was like, "You guys filled my heart today, but that drummer, meh." So, it's critical. So I'd like to think that I'm doing something that is acceptable by other drummers. That's how I approach it.
So you play for other drummers.
I do, man.
That's what you do.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm really trying to do it.
Apparently, they're the biggest critiques.
Yeah.
Because we get no respect.
Yeah.
So you're focused on the technique, right? You're a
Probably my
technician,
jazz
musician.
background.
Okay.
Yep. And
Just to see where you are on that.
yeah. And again, I just didn't sit down and join a rock band that was in a garage. I was trained. So I was the guy that played a triangle, sat down for 75 measures, stood up, maybe crashed a cymbal, hit a bass drum, and then counted 300 measures rest until the orchestra was at the big peak of the song. So I had a little bit more discipline than, say, your garage band. Not that they're bad. There's
Right.
plenty that are better than me.
No.
But just a little bit different training, if you will.
That's cool. Yeah.
If I can interject with a question too, who would you say is the most talented in your family? Because you're saying you had a family full of musicians.
I do. I think that's a drummer, me.
Right.
But no, hands down, musician. My younger brother.
Really?
He's still currently playing in a jazz group. He's a band director in Biloxi, Mississippi. He has
Been there.
Oh, right on. The good casinos.
Yeah.
But he's very. It's his life. It's still every day involves music. Whereas me,
that's
I
cool.
try to get music involved in my life. He's the opposite. It is his life. Besides family, and you know what I mean.
You're
his living.
Right.
barely mowed by it, right? Do you remember the Baines?
Bane.
Like yeah. It's like you merely adopted to that, but your brother, he was born in it.
That's it. That was it. Yeah.
You remember that?
That's Batman, right?
Yeah, Batman now third. I think the third in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, third movie. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it. Like I said, it really transcends every language, right?
Yeah, you know what? And I was going to say, music is also one of those universal languages besides love that is spoken without words. That's cool. That really ties in with today's subject. That's really awesome.
And when did this love for music start? Because of the whole family?
Yeah, I mean, I was banging on a piano probably to hold myself up to stand. So yeah.
It makes the whole difference, doesn't it?
It does. I mean,
Sports,
sure.
music, everything.
You see it at an early age and you attach yourself to it. It's part of the family. We were talking earlier, there's football families that 3-4 generations have played, and that's what they do. Basketball, same thing. LeBron and his kid, right? I mean,
Right.
so music really isn't that different in a sense. Although if you think about it, how many bands are out there where their kids are now amazing? I mean, there's a good handful. Bonham, Dylan, Kid, but I guess for me, I was lucky because where's Van Halen Jr.? Is he doing anything?
Right. Right.
I think it's quite different when you get to this echelon, when you get to this level, of music, and then you see so much shit. It's a completely different world. I think in a day-to-day, if you're a musician in a day-to-day, it's easier to like your kids, like your family go after you about, it's easier than all this, because to be successful is so rare. We don't understand that it's so rare. It's really hard to reproduce that to your kids, there are many elements there. So
I wonder if the love and the passion for making music is overshadowed by the business of being in a band, of being in front of millions of fans type of thing. And then it ends up just being like, going through the motions, I'll make another song and, collect a paycheck.
Yeah. It's not easy making songs.
No,
extremely
absolutely
difficult.
not.
Those are special people that can move us, right? Make us feel emotion.
Yeah.
Make us feel love. Make us feel sadness. So that's a special thing. That's a special gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have some musicians that I don't know if you heard about that, but Louis Armstrong and Bob Marley, they wouldn't even talk. They would sing the whole day. They would sing to communicate.
That's interesting.
Because they communicated better when they were singing. They were more inspired and more centered when they were singing than when they are speaking. So they would talk to people singing. So you see how
That'd be kind of annoying if you were behind them at like a restaurant.
Yeah, but it's Bob Marley.
Order.
It's Bob Marley,
fries.
Yeah, exactly. He probably would say Bob Marley would go in the reggae move, like
Give me the Coke.
fries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a way to develop creating music. Like any subject, you gotta make music out of it. I mean, Lily, if you ask Lily, my daughter, she will do. She starts singing by like whatever she wants to say. And if you challenge her,
Mhm. And
And then-
dancing too.
yeah. And then it's like, it's not really that good, but she's just like singing. But she sings really well when she picks up a music to sing. And she sings really well. And it's different. Alice is not, as much. But Lily, can sing. Yeah.
Well, I know enough to know that there could be a parallel world out there where that's how they communicate.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that episode of Family Guy.
Yep.
So,
Do you think aliens have music? If you assume aliens are real,
Well,
which I do.
that is a...
And you're fitting right in so far. You're hitting all of the check boxes of a returning guest. Like, keep it up.
We're just listening to the podcast. I was listening. Dylan had already. These guys that went to Joe Rogan about aliens and stuff, right?
Can I show you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Look
at
at that.
I'm a big believer. I watch all the stuff.
That's cool. That's cool. And then we were just like talking about we want to believe they do exist and that they can come around and And I was telling the Virginia episode, right, in Brazil. I was at university about 60 kilometers away from there, so it's like 40 something miles, from Virginia. So it's like we really want to believe, but there is always very like, no, I cannot talk about it. I cannot, because it's like classified,
Stigma.
classified information, and then
Mhm.
there is no high quality footage, video, and whatnot, right?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like now apparently there are some images that came out, but is that really a real thing or it's AI? I don't know. I haven't seen them, but
I've seen unexplainable things in the sky, but I'm a looker.
okay.
I have been. I've
Mhm.
always gazed. So I'm looking for it. And I don't believe it's wishful thinking. I've seen some things that I cannot explain.
Yeah.
Could you please share that to us?
You got Conrad's
All right.
interest in there.
Yeah.
but first
So
off,
should
you
we
know,
bring the tinfoil hats? Or
Yeah.
No, leave it. No, leave
Those
the
are for
tinfoil hats.
conspiracies?
Yeah, those are for
No?
conspiracies.
We
This
have
is-
some tinfoil hats.
This is
That's hilarious.
firsthand experience. This is actual science, right?
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Well, my experience, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I lived there for 7, 8 years, and great guy from UK, my neighbor Mikey. We would sit out back, do exactly what we're doing right now: have a cigar and have a drink. And my daughter was new, very new at the time, so they were fast asleep. The women, if you will, not to sound like it sounds, but our wives went to bed and our children went to bed.
Right.
So this is what we did. And now let me first preface saying my father was in the Navy. Then he was in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We had a Cessna 182. I was in a plane at a very young age and was very comfortable with flying. So I know what planes look like. I know what they sound like. I know what they do. I know their capabilities. And our house happened to be in a landing pattern for Pittsburgh International. So I was very familiar with patterns
Mhm.
and where things are flying. This was 3 lights, pretty much straight out. And then in a snap was over here. And when I say here, this is miles.
Yeah.
I would have to guesstimate 30, 50, I don't know, miles. Far enough where you could see it, but you're like, whoa, what was that? Came back over in front of us, dropped 3 flares. Moved, dropped 3 flares. Gone. That was
Whoa.
it. that
Whoa.
was my experience.
I like that.
It was real. It was awesome.
Okay, we gotta do a exclusive episode on that then.
Yeah.
You're playing into Conrad's territory here, and I mean, we all want to believe that
can-
I mean, you've seen it, so
I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I'd like to refer you to Tubi, the streaming channel.
mhm.
Yeah.
UFO Revolution. There's 2 seasons out. Jeremy Corbell, if you are following the alien world, is about the biggest name that's out there.
Mhm.
If these 6 episodes do not change your opinion, I think you have no opinion, and I shall no longer listen.
Really?
It's that good. It's all about whistleblowing and actuals, and it's the behind the scenes of the congressional hearings.
Ah, okay.
It's the real deal.
Right.
Watch it.
Well, that goes in hand with that newly appointed, forget her name in the position, Luna. Her last name is Luna. I forget what she is, but she's the one that wants to make public the JFK files, the Epstein list, and UFOs was another one on her list that's like, the government has all of this information. I'm going to share it to the public as much as we know.
Well, it reminds me of Men in Black when he says, we can't tell because people are smart. I mean, a person is smart, but people are dumb and panicky.
Yes.
So while some of us would be able to comprehend and swallow and accept that truth, others are going to freak out. But I'm ready for the reveal, and I think it's coming.
And going back to the original question that you said about do aliens listen to music or play music and stuff?
I hope so.
I think so, because a lot of movies that they incorporate that.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, and communication, and also like to try and communicate with humans and whatnot. There's always like some sort of sound and rhythm.
Well, that's the
involved.
rudiment of any language, right?
Yeah.
I can't understand your language. You can't understand mine, but you understand some type of beat, some type of movement.
Well, they did that in war, right? There were different drum beats for entering and different for retreating and that kind of stuff. So, why would that be any different?
Absolutely.
Except for the fact that they're probably millions of years advanced on us.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
Yeah,
Just a couple.
I got two.
Go ahead.
Well, no, just because you mentioned about being advanced or not, because that's another thing that I think about. It's like, yes, I assume that there will be other civilizations that are much more advanced, but also ones that are not yet, not even like to our level of technology. Like, and those, in order for us to see them, we would be the ones getting to them. Do you know what I mean?
Or what if they're not advanced, but they only have one type of technology, and that's interdimensional travel, but they're very dumb and rude and evil.
Sure.
No, but I'm talking about more like technology and be able to travel. Yes, I mean, it depending on where, where they're based and in whatever components that is on that particular planet, it's going to be different. Yeah. Go, George. George wants to speak.
No. You're having fun. Fun is always a priority in this podcast.
Love aliens.
But yeah, my point here is more that we project and we believe in things that are within our reach of knowledge. So when you ask about music, right? So we have the presupposition that it's about language that involves sounds and objects and voices. We believe that. But when you're talking about if someone can reach us, right, it means that someone reaches, they are in a completely different level. Think about what would take us to travel from planet to planet. Think about all the way we would have to explore the energy in this country, in this planet. We are not even close to that, right? So I think there are other ways to express art, right? Whatever you call it, one of them for sure is going to be music because it's beautiful. We have literature and films and covered on that. If you think about it, think about the Lord of the Rings. Like every single different group of people, they have their own ways, like their own tones. They describe that in the books. The audiobook, the guy even uses and changes every time he mimes one of the group or one of the races, whatever they call it, right? They actually change it, the voice. They have to change it, everything, the tone and everything. So that's the thing. So I believe that there are other ways to communicate. Sounds that we have no idea, possibilities, elements that we only use it, 100, how many chemical elements you have on Earth? 100 something, right? Maybe there are thousands, millions that would produce a sound that you would die. Your body wouldn't.
Sure.
Your body wouldn't. Think about the sound of a
jet plane.
Jet. It's like, look, if you're close to that, you don't die, but man, you're gonna suffer. How about something stronger than that, or something that we don't realize and can kill us? So when you talk about sounds and I only know what I know.
Yeah, we understand, sound is part of what we experience, but, those species that we're talking about, Dylan, remember which ones? They're like blue, white, or something like that. The tall.
The reptilians?
No, the other one.
Tall whites.
The tall whites. They did not have any ears, so all the communication was.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
That's my next point here. Yeah.
Well, that was that mass sighting in Africa, right? That 20, 30 kids
Yes.
saw.
That's such a crazy story.
They heard them, they spoke to them, but they never opened their mouths.
Right.
It's the same thing.
It seems
Yeah.
to be a common theme too. A common theme interacting with aliens is that they telepathically communicate.
Mm-hmm.
How about dolphins and whales?
Delicious. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, right. So they also, yeah, they are. Okay, apart from that, okay. Still in the music realm, right? The songs.
don't come after us.
Kidding,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Right. So
We just
they
got
communicate.
demonetized.
I don't know what's in barbecue, man. I just eat it.
Hot dogs.
Right. So
They make sonic sounds or whatever, right?
exactly.
Little clicks like you just made. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Right. So there are languages in Africa that are clicks.
Right.
Right. So yeah, the clicks. So. But one thing about I don't want to. I just would like you to understand, to be patient with this that I'm gonna say here, because like you said, like you don't have an opinion, right? So my opinion is that based on science and economics, it's very hard for us to be visited, for economics and for science. First of all, science, right? Think about the whole Sahara. Our planet is one of the sands in the Sahara, one of the sands. So think about a person compared to the size of a Sahara, right? So why would I go to Sahara? I need to have to the desert. I need to have an interest to go there. I will have to to have economical reasons to go there, or curiosity. But why would I choose that specific sand in the desert? So for a question of for science, I would say it takes so much to get here. We wouldn't be able to, probably it's going to take us, with the technology we have, we would never get to other inhabited planets.
Have you ever heard of the works of Zecharia Sitchin?
No.
Zecharia Sitchin wrote. You've heard of Zecharia Sitchin's.
Sorry.
Zecharia Sitchin wrote basically how we are byproducts. We are scientific byproducts of an alien race that came here to farm for gold because their home planet's oxygen or something was happening with their atmosphere and they needed gold. So the whole reason that we are here is basically a created race of slaves to mine for gold, to provide back to the motherland so that they could gather that gold to protect the atmosphere of their home planet, their home world. Sounds
It's economics.
It's an economics, and
It's economics.
it is a reason to visit here because this planet is full of gold.
Mr. T's in trouble.
Yeah.
Hide your neck.
That makes total sense. It checks every box, right?
Yeah, it does.
The other thing as well is, let's say, like we have some sort of way of like scanning things. They might have a way of scanning the planets and see which ones have populations, and they go, okay, let's go in there to see what can we, either harvest or something like that, from that planet, or at least understand.
I think we're disregarding time. 2,000 years ago, we were crucifying people.
Yeah.
It's been a big difference in 2,000 years. Well, add whatever, 20,000 years to that.
100,000.
It's 100,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's imagine where we are going to be in the year 9,000.
That's one of the reasons I like Interstellar, though. It takes time into a different way of thinking. We think of time as linear. But what if it's not? We don't know.
No, we don't.
So,
I recently watched that movie, which is the life story of Stephen Hawking. That he was
oh, yeah.
actually
Interstellar.
Yeah, it's a good one if you haven't seen it. No. It's like the theory of relativity or something.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Oh,
no,
my-
the
my
origin,
It's
the origin of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stephen
Okay.
Hawking movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Based on his book.
it's like part of his studies were to prove that you could actually potentially, recreate, the moment, like going from now backwards to the very origin. And then he switched that over, after a little while to say that he tried to make a calculus, somehow to prove that. But and that's the thing. So time is being a linear thing. So once you get rid of time, and then travel is like what you're saying. What you saw, the lights coming in here, going that way, and then going the other side. It's like that makes easy to travel when you can just jump in from one place to another with a blink of an eye. So
Yep.
yeah,
Great.
love.
But you know what? I love talking about stuff like this.
I love it too.
Yeah,
it
man.
fits into love.
It fits into love.
Love doesn't necessarily mean physical.
Nope,
Right?
not at all.
I mean, love will conquer all.
Yeah,
Thoughts.
and maybe the other thing is like the motivation is actually love. Let's
Love of exploration.
mix races, and then keep on expanding.
Love of gold.
Love of gold.
That's right.
So yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's some motivation to be here, right? Whether it's love for your planet, that you need a resource, or just any way you look at it, there has to be love involved to travel that far away. There just has to be.
Yeah.
You got to love to do it. You may never come back.
Just some pranksters
Yeah.
heading over here just to mess with us. They love to prank.
Right?
You never know.
Just a bunch of hooligans.
Some teenage aliens coming here to stir it up, man.
Alien Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's terrifying.
Just menaces.
It's hilarious.
They got to exist, right?
I have a question going back to love. Do you believe in love at first sight? And if you do, have you ever experienced it?
I think it's more like admiration, It could be. I don't recall like when even I was like very young. Like looking at a girl and then like, oh, I'm falling in love. No,
Yeah.
I mean it was like a build up. Like, every single party that you go to and then the girl is there and then you look and see the way she dances and whatnot, and then it's like, oh, I have a crush on that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
There's a build up to it.
I think
could
so.
say.
There is a little build up. I mean, but that's my experience.
I will. Oh, I'm sorry, but I will tell you there is only one love at first sight, in my opinion. The rest, like you say, goes maybe through the physical and the attraction to it. But love at first sight is when your partner gives birth to something that you have created.
Oh yeah,
I just wrote it that.
That is absolutely love
That's
at first
exactly
sight.
what I would say. I would ask you, dads. We're not dads. You're not yet. I won't be. But do you remember?
I T-bowed. I took one knee. I was so moved with emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And they look like aliens. But it's incredible what
Yeah,
happens.
The
I know.
overcoming, the overwhelming experience.
Absolutely. It's over. It's
Was it
absolutely
the
overwhelming.
strongest emotion in your life? Maybe
100%.
100%.
100%.
You only have one kid. What is her name?
Mila.
Mila. Love the name.
Thank you.
All right.
I normally tell people because that's true. I mean, I was talking about love like between men and women instead of like father and son. But yes, that is actually one of the things that the people think like, oh, I love that girl and something like that. It's like, no, you like a lot.
Love is an abused word, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you know when the
Yes,
first time
yes.
when the first time I laid eyes on Alice, my first daughter, it was like, oh, it punched me in a way. It's like the very first thing that I thought, I was like, oh, I know what love is. Before, I thought that love was something, and now I know.
You should write a song.
Yeah. I have the answer now.
You're right.
But yeah, thanks, Ben, for bringing that up because it exactly, yeah, that is at first sight. Although you are expecting that to happen, right? Because it's
No.
inside of the belly, but
Tell
you
me what
don't know, you don't know that it happens when it happens.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's no pre-game anything you can read. There's no game plan. No matter how much everybody tells you you're gonna love this child, it's
yeah.
1,000 times more.
Yeah. It's unbelievably the amount of times, more. And the second child is it doesn't replicate because you already understand what love is, right?
As a middle child, I understand.
Yeah.
How about you, Conrad?
I
With
would
the
say
two
the
kids?
same. I'd say the same. To see my kids, that was definitely an unconditional love at first sight of like, it's almost indescribable. You're so filled with emotions and happiness and things going on, and it's just a crazy experience. Very crazy experience.
I'll tell you, I keep telling myself, right? So, wow, you say that about a kid, right? So, I truly love my wife. Like, I think, okay, if it's more than what I feel for Tamiris, man, it's got to be something. Because what I feel for her, it doesn't fit inside of me. It's just that, I'm always considering things about her, like, I mean, we do couple therapy we've been doing couple therapy for 10 years before we dated. So we kind of know, before we dated. Yeah.
How are you in couples therapy before you date?
That was the idea. We were like seeing each other, and
That's a
then
good question.
there are
Proactive.
there are so many differences. There are so many differences. Of
I've
course.
met her in therapy.
No, look.
We're gonna end up here. Might as well start now.
We are seeing each other, and then there are so many differences between us. We want to know, like, should I invest in that? Really? Should I really invest in that? Because we kind of invest in relationships. We don't put a lot of effort, that much of effort of thinking on that, and then we put it, like kids, religion, where to live, what we believe in life, what we want in life. There's so many things, and I'm 12 years older than her, so it was important. I think maybe the love was built on, on that basis. I think that's why it's so strong. I feel it's strong, at least.
Start the relationship on a very open communication, no secrets, let it all out, and then go from there.
Yes.
Type of mentality. I respect that 100%.
You've met this person. This is real.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's real. That's real. Yeah.
I'm messing with you.
Yeah, she's a force of nature,
That's awesome.
and I like that. I like that. She's the creative part of the couple. Like I'm more when we got married. Like we got married in a coffee place, and then I was like, I am the water, and you are the beans. That's what I said. She's the beans. She's the taste. She's the flavor, and I make things happen. I'm there. I'm 99% of the time there.
I still think that when you have a first child, you go like, oh, that's 1,000 times.
I agree.
I still believe it.
Take that feeling and multiply it by at least 1,000.
It's got, man, okay.
That's a lot of coffee beans.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. She's a geisha. She's a geisha, man. Tamiris is a geisha. That's my declaration of love to Tamiris. Tamiris, you are a geisha.
Gentlemen,
Geisha the coffee.
we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Check our cigar review next Monday. Ben, thank you very much for joining us. This has been
thank you.
fun.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. This has been a great time.
And hit that like button.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And turn on the notification.
Yeah, maybe even leave a comment.
Yeah.
Whatever
Share.
you're feeling.
And share too. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say you'd love to see a comment?
I'd love nothing more. We'll see y'all next week.
So yeah.
Thank you.